Well, hello and welcome back to another exciting edition of Coffee with Stephen. So, this week's blog is entitled Defense Distributed. A couple of you guys last week had emailed me and said, that you were really surprised that I hadn't gone into the controversy associated with Defense Distributed. And for those of you who don't know what that means, Defense Distributed is an organization in Texas that had developed a 3D printed firearm. They're not the only ones that have done this. There's actually quite a slew of individuals that have developed 3D printing firearms. But these guys marketed themselves very well. They happen to be owned by a self-described anarchist. And one of the things that this individual wanted to do was take the code for making these 3D printed guns and put them as available out on the internet without anybody having to pay for it. The government enjoined him from doing this. Now, what was funny is that while the government had specifically prohibited him from putting out this information, a ton of other people have put this information out. So it's widely available, but because he was we'll call it a famous entity, the government continued to pursue its case to keep him from putting this stuff out there. Now, a book was developed that has all these same codes. And the book was put onto Amazon. And what's really troubling is that Amazon decided to pull the book. You cannot buy it on Amazon. They've made the unilateral decision not to allow that book to be sold. Now, keep in mind, you can still buy a copy of the Communist Manifesto. You can still buy a copy of the Anarchist's Cookbook. And you can still buy a copy of Mein Kampf on Amazon, but you cannot buy this relatively accessible document that you can just as easily get through Googling. As I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, when private industry becomes the policing agency of the federal government, we run the risk of a tyrannical regime formulating through the use of corporate America. So, in any event, read the blog. If you have any questions or you want to comment, as always, feel free to email me at stephen@artemishq.com. And as always, train constantly, train consistently, train with purpose. And above all else, stay safe. Until next week, thank you for watching.